Joseph R. Wheeler III, what's happening? Back out here at it again. You already know the vibes if you watch my lives. You know what I'm doing. I'm doing my deliveries, and while I'm delivering to you the content that makes ONYXCON what it is in many, many ways, because we are multi-niche. We have multi-niche content. That's what we do here. It's not a one-trick pony around these parts. And I want to talk about some new content I came across today, because I'm always watching really cool people's channels here on YouTube. Anybody who's got something going on and I dig what they're doing, I'm quick to support. If I find something that intrigues me, it ain't nothing for me to hit the subscribe button. All us real ones, this is how we move. And all my real subscribers, y'all know that's how it is. That's how you are. That's why we cool. That's why you part of the monetization nation, because it's my people who don't hesitate. They like, I like this, I like that, subscribe, bam, done. Like, there's no having to beg nobody to subscribe. I ain't got to keep reminding y'all how important it is that y'all subscribe. Everybody's on the same page with me. Y'all understand what this is and why I'm doing it. And what our goals are, because I done shared it with you. You don't watch the content. You're not a fair weather friend. You just dipped in and dipped out. You didn't just see one thing one day and thought, okay, this is kind of interesting, and then flaked off and didn't care if you ever got back to the channel. No, y'all actually, from day one, quality when you see it. Edutainment when you see it. You understand everything that I present, and you love it, so you subscribe, period. So that's how I am, right? And I want to shout out 2 channels today, because they doing the dang thing. First, brother Isaiah Ashley. If you never heard of him, look him up. Isaiah Ashley. He's in, I don't know these people, but let me make that clear. Everybody I'm about to mention, I do not know. The most contact I've ever had is putting comments under their post and saying how much I like the video or something like that, and being a subscriber. That's it. That's as deep as it goes. Nothing more, nothing less. At least for today, because who knows? You can meet somebody later on and make a real friend for life. You never know. But Isaiah is in Thailand. Brother, he's African-American, brother. He's in Thailand living the dream. He's a young cat, too. This dude's like, I don't know what it is, but I know he ain't. I don't think he's in his 30s. I don't know. But he's got a hell of a format, and I like how he interviews. He's real good at interviewing. He's well-spoken, and he always digs into the financials of what it is to be an expat and living abroad. And so he shares the real, and he's not trying to hide any of the hiccups that come along with the process either, but he does highlight the glory at the end of every episode. The main bottom line is he'll ask the people like how much they're spending on their condo or apartment or whatever they're living in. Even houses. There's people. There was a couple he interviewed that had a house, and they had a couple of people he's interviewed had a house, big, nice, and so it can be done. He's showing that it is being done, and that there's folks living that dream if that's important to them, if that's what you want. And so he was interviewing this lady. Her channel. Here's another shout out. It's Chloe's Way. Shout out to Chloe's Way. Okay, like her way. You know what I mean? Chloe's Way. Check her out. Chloe, fine as hell. Let me start with that. Okay. As soon as I saw this beautiful black woman, I said, I mean, it's like you see the thumbnail and you like, okay, whatever she talking about, I just want to hear what it is. Let's go. What's up? What we talking about? And like I said, I've watched the brother's channel many times, so I know his format and how he interviews. So I knew it would be a good one. And they had really good rapport. It was really fun, good conversation. And from the bat, I said, yeah, she's professional. She's a professional presenter. And then as he was showing her apartment on her TV, she had up her channel thumbnail, and I said, okay, she's a content creator herself. She does YouTube herself. I get it. So this is a big extra promo to be on this interview. And I was like, you go, girl. So she from Texas, or at least she was living in Texas before she moved to Thailand. And she explained how that went and how she had to make a lot of decisions to change her life, and just finally got down to just Like, yo, you either gonna do it or you ain't. You gotta go for it. And you can't be worrying about what nobody else thinks. What's up? What's up? I see the love going up, and I appreciate it. You know, but she made it clear that it wasn't easy, and that she had been through a lot of stuff. And that 1 year, I think she was saying 2024 was like really tough for her and everything. But she moved to Thailand in May of this year, and has been there and hit the ground running. Like, I looked at her channel, and she's posted. Like, she's keeping it flowing like you're supposed to on YouTube. And her videos are great. I mean, well done. Remind me of my own format, the way she'll walk, like when I do vlogs anyway. You know, when I'm on vacation mode, you know, I'm going to walk and talk and show y'all what I'm seeing, stuff like that. And that's most people who do vlogs, but particularly the way she is. She just got good energy, you know what I'm saying? She got good energy, and it's a lot of really good, strong statements she's made about life, and it's like listening to affirmations and progressive thought, and viewing a beautiful exotic place that you've never been, or may have been, or want to go, or whatever, right? That's what it's like on her channel, and she's in Thailand now. So y'all know I love outdoors and all that and hiking, so she had done a walk around this beautiful urban park that is like really nice, and it reminded me of stuff I experienced when I was in Malaysia, which was my first ever passport stamp and my first chance to go to Southeast Asia. So I always think back to that. Whenever I see somebody in any country that's in Southeast Asia, I think about that, because I know what that's like when you're in there. And she kept talking about how they fuse the natural with the high development of technology and the, you know, skyscrapers and all that. Like, they have a lot of public parks, and this is in Bangkok. And I like that too, because they're showing more to Bangkok than just the red light district. Because to be honest with you, up until I'd say maybe in the last 5 years of watching so much YouTube content and so many folks that are in Thailand, great folks like Richie Mack from LA, who's got his channel that's real popular and went viral a while back, but Zoom to Thailand is his show. And even what he covers, like he shows more than what people expect. And so from that, I started to understand, oh, okay, I had this big misconception about what Bangkok looked like. You know, I knew from just going, like I said, to Malaysia, that they got a lot of development and an extreme business sector with a lot of money flowing and all kind of technology and everything that some people don't think is going on anywhere else in the world but in America or in Europe, which is total bullshit. Matter of fact, they 10 times more advanced than most American cities. Hello, real talk, I promise you. So, you know, but I honestly didn't think Bangkok was one of the ones that got that title. I honestly didn't. Only because people only would show the damn red light district and all that stuff, and I thought that's all it was. Like, I thought it was just like an old town with a little port area. Yeah, they catered to a bunch of nightlife and all that, and that's it. But then I had to wake up. I was like, no, this is a metropolis. This is a real huge city, and that little one section that they always show, when some people show only that, because that's all they're interested in, you know what I mean? That's all they want to talk about, and all they want to be around is some drinking and smoking and, you know, all the other activities. That's all they know, right? That's all they want to know. So they ain't gonna show nothing else. But when you see it for what it really is, you're like, wait, whoa. And it really bothers me, because it's like, it's such an insult to the place. Like, it's so beautiful, and it's got way more going on than just that one little area or any areas like that. And that's true for everywhere. Like, it'd be the same with Atlanta, how people who've never been here will talk about Atlanta or make little statements about Atlanta, and I'd be like, whoa. Have you ever been here? Or worse, they've been here, but they went to one little area and they thought that's how everything was. And I was like, nah, you didn't have a real experience yet. Don't talk about it unless you was hanging with the wrong folk and you didn't have the real experience yet. It's about as bad as a friend of mine. I'm thinking of somebody who actually did that. But a homegirl of mine who said, I said, have you ever been to Atlanta? She said, yeah, it was a real short trip, but I didn't like it. I said, why? He was like, where we were, it was really dirty, and it was just, I don't know, I didn't like the vibe, and people was just like, it was not right. It just wasn't, I didn't like it, this, that, and the other. But when she talked about how it was dirty, and then she mentioned the stereotype of you know, the quote-unquote oversaturation of the LGBTQ community and all that, but it's like, that's not the case. Yeah, there are areas where there's a stronghold of people who live that life. And then there's people, period, coexisting. Like, just people. That's it. Just people, man. Whatever you're doing, that's on you. But plenty straight folk. Plenty. Okay? Especially us real ATLians from back in the day ATL. I guarantee you. Okay? And I said, where were you? And she didn't know the names of the neighborhoods. I'm laughing at her. I'm like, you ain't been to Atlanta. I said, you have no idea what this place is like, right? I said, you really need to come through so I can show you. And we just kind of left it on that. But I said, man, don't never be talking about my time and don't know what you're talking about. I said, that is some BS of BS. And it's not true whatsoever. You really need to get an experience because you ain't had one yet. And so I would send her like videos sometimes when I would take a walk on the parts of the Beltline that are so nice and stuff. Or if I was walking, you know, one of my hiking areas that ain't too far from the city and all that. And I'd be like, this is Atlanta, damn it, you know? And she'd be like, oh my gosh, wow. Like, oh, wow, I see what you mean. Like, I was like, yeah, you late to the party. You don't even know. Like, don't do that. But that's what happens a lot of times when people get to creating an idea of a place based on very shallow experiences. And that's why I'm a big advocate when it comes to travel or anything for that matter. Like, don't dabble, man. Go in. Like, get into the essence of a place and see some things beyond what's expected so you can truly make an analysis of what that thing is about. You can't base it on you can't take a vacation, even if you have a well-rounded 5-day vacation, right? Which 5 days is pretty decent for an affordable vacation, right? Even with an affordable 5-day, you can never say you know it all about a place once you've been there. You still don't know it all. There's still gonna be parts you didn't see, things that would have blown your mind if you had seen that. So, but the best thing to do is just try to diversify that trip so that you're seeing different parts of that place, you know? And the only way you're gonna do that, in my research and experience, is, when you really, you gotta look outside the typical boxes. Like, any and almost everything has a popular expectation of what it is. Like, you hear stereotypes about places, and then you gotta know from the minute you see that, you need to be looking for whatever's the opposite of that, because there's always an opposite. There's always an opposite. And if you get caught up in the regular stereotype, you'll never have the time you're supposed to have with anything, with any place, with anybody. You in the shallow water, man. You got to go deep. You can't be dealing with that shallow shit, you know? And most people who are shallow don't think they shallow. they go deeper into their shallowness and think that, you know, what could be better than just doing this same old lame stuff that we put on everything, you know? It's the kind of people who, they're gonna take a vacation and do the same things they do when they home. Ain't gonna try nothing new. That's not traveling.